By the end of this lecture, learners will be able to define the rationale for using active learning in the classroom, describe instructional methods that encourage active learning, identify the techniques used in classes to create an active learning environment. But, before we move forwards, if you have not been here before, then, welcome to the UNIV-ENGLISH channel. If you do like videos like this, then make sure to hit the subscribe button. And also smash the notification bell to receive notifications of when I produce more videos like this. For more information, you are invited to visit my website, english.mokerma.com. So, let's begin with this question. What is active learning? Active learning is a pedagogical model in which students are actively involved in their own learning. The goal of active learning is for students to become self-motivated and to develop critical thinking skills. Active learners are engaged in the task at hand and are not passive recipients of information. The use of digital tools and resources, such as flashcards, blogs, and wikis, allows educators to incorporate active learning into their curriculum. Learners solve problems, answer questions, formulate questions of their own, discuss, explain, debate, or brainstorm during the teaching-learning process. Barnwell, C., and Eisen, 1991, define active learning as follow. It is, when students are engaged in more activities than just listening. They are involved in dialogue, debate, writing, and problem-solving, as well as higher-order thinking. How does active learning work? Active learning is a pedagogical approach that encourages students to be actively involved in their learning. Active learners are self-directed, problem-solving and goal-oriented learners who take an active role in their own learning process. Active learning is based on the assumption that learners are more likely to learn if they are engaged in the task at hand. There are a number of different techniques that can be used to engage students in their learning, but the most common approach is called guided discovery. In guided discovery, teachers provide students with some initial information about the topic being studied, but then allow them to do their own research and explore the material on their own. This allows students to build confidence and understanding of the material by working through problems on their own. Guided discovery is used in many different contexts. The goal of guided discovery is to help students build their confidence and understanding of a topic. Characteristics of active learning. This approach encourages students to ask questions, probe for understanding, and explore information on their own. Active learning typically involves breaking down tasks into manageable chunks and making sure that all students are participating in the same activities. Here are the main features. 1. Engages students beyond reading, listening, and note-taking. Active learners are those who seek out new information and knowledge on their own. 2. Promotes deep learning, not just the acquisition of facts. Learners ask questions, think critically, and participate in discussions with their classmates. 3. Develops higher-order thinking skills through intentionally designed activities. Active learners take control of the learning process by accessing resources that interest them, working on problems and projects, seeking feedback from others to help them improve their understanding, and asking questions when something doesn't make sense to them. 4. Involves interaction among students. Active learners are also those who work on problems or projects independently and seek feedback from others to help them improve their understanding. Advantages of active learning. In order to maximize the benefits of active learning, teachers should create clear objectives and provide feedback that emphasizes student progress. Active learning is often seen as more effective because it engages the student on an individual level and allows them to learn at their own pace. It helps students retain information better because they are constantly engaging with the material. It is often used as a way to help students become more independent. It increases student participation. It creates a more exciting classroom experience. It encourages a higher level of thinking. Types of active learning. Active learning is a type of learning that encourages students to be actively involved in the learning process. This involves using a variety of methods to help students become more engaged in the material they are studying. These methods can include group work. Group work can be a great way to get the most out of your students. It allows them to share their ideas and skills, and it helps them learn how to work as a team. It can also help them to become more independent, and it allows them to take more ownership of their learning. They are given different goals and tasks to complete, and the goal is to generate ideas and solutions to the issue. Pair work. Pairing is a way for students to work on the same assignment at the same time. Students who pair can be more confident in their work and have less anxiety about it. They discuss the work they are doing together and learn from each other. This can be a great way to help students develop as writers and critical thinkers. Collaborative learning. Collaborative learning is a type of instruction in which students work together to complete a task. It can be used in classrooms to improve the overall learning environment and help students learn from each other. Collaborative learning can also be beneficial for students with disabilities, since it allows them to participate in mainstream classroom activities. A great example of this type of instruction is the cooperative learning groups that have been used in schools for years. Open-ended questions. Open-ended questions are a great way to get more information from someone. They're also a great way to start a conversation. Here are 6 tips for asking open-ended questions. 1. Ask questions that interest you. 2. Be patient. Don't rush the person you're speaking with. 3. Make sure your question is clear and concise. 4. Keep your voice low and soft, and avoid sounding judgmental or aggressive. 5. Be aware of the tone of your voice, and use it to guide the conversation in the right direction. 6. Keep the conversation going by asking follow-up questions that encourage the person to continue speaking. Brainstorm activity. Brainstorming is a process where groups of people come up with ideas. It's helpful for solving problems, coming up with new ideas, and brainstorming solutions to challenges. Brainstorming can be done in person or online. There are a few things you need for a successful brainstorm. Concentration. Openness to new ideas. Willingness to be flexible. How to implement active learning in your classroom. Active learning can be implemented in a variety of ways, depending on the type of class being taught. Here are some tips for implementing active learning in your classroom. 1. Plan objectives following your learners' needs. Design a positive learning environment. 2. Make sure there are plenty of resources available to learners, including graphics, charts, graphs, etc. This will help them to get lost in the material and gain a deeper understanding. 3. Few important points. Use active learning techniques, learning styles. All learners learn at different speeds and in different ways. Some learn through hearing, some through seeing, and some through reading. If you want to maximize your learners' potential, it is important to utilize their individual learning styles. 4. Give short activities. Divide the class into groups. Each group should have a leader who will assign each member of his group a specific task to carry out. The tasks may include writing, drawing, or working in small groups. 5. Give students time to generate questions. Ensure that the students are given a safe environment to ask questions. It is important to give them some time in which they can generate their own questions. If you do not allow this, you may come across as being too demanding and prevent your learners from asking questions. 6. Have students summarize major points. The students will apply their knowledge in the form of a summary. This may involve writing an essay, creating a visual presentation, or simply presenting to the class. Conclusion. Why active learning is important. Active learning is important because it allows students to build their own knowledge, rather than simply receive information from a teacher. It also helps students retain more information, as they are constantly engaged in the material. Active learning is a newer form of instruction that focuses on engaging students in the teaching-learning process. This approach encourages students to participate in class discussions, ask questions, create their own material and become more independent learners. Active learning is a method of teaching in which students are encouraged to engage in their own learning. This can be done by providing them with opportunities to explore materials on their own, or by having them pair up with classmates and work on joint projects. There are a number of benefits to active learning, including increased engagement and retention of information, improved problem-solving skills, and a better understanding of the problem under discussion.